Okay, a bit left field, a bit different to what I normally talk, totally fucking, miles fucking different to what I normally talk about, because I'm interested in cycling, never ever talk about it on my channel. I have no intention of starting talking about it on my channel, but I did want to bring this up because I've always wanted a power meter. For a few years I've wanted a power meter. Way too expensive for me to afford, even though the price has come down somewhat. You're still talking for, I think, a Stages one, which I think is the cheapest, which is you have to replace the crank arm on the non-drive side, and it runs through that, and it's a bit of fucking about, really, and it's about 600 quid. So what are you talking about? About $900, $1,000, something like that. I can't afford, I can't justify that, and I know that a lot of other people are in the same position. Well, this Scottish production design engineer was in the same position when his coach asked him to get a power meter, and so he thought, I'm sure I can design something that's going to be cheaper, and he started a little group that are doing that. They've got an IndieGoGo project going, looking to raise $100,000. They've already raised $200,000, and they want to hit a target of $250,000. As it stands, the device will be Ant Plus compatible. If that doesn't mean anything to you, that's the Garmin standard. $250,000, they feel pretty certain that they'll be able to make the product Bluetooth compatible as well. It will give them the extra funding to do that. They're looking to have it available for people who sign up for one now in December this year. Right at the end of the year. For everybody else, it will be sort of spring 2016. My guess is that's going to end up a little bit optimistic, and it'll probably be spring 2016 when you'll be seeing it if you sign up now. Why sign up now? They're looking to have this product available for $400. If you sign up now, you can get it for $270. That's including $10 shipping. That's about 170 quid for a power meter. That's just like a world away from what you would have to pay for any other proper power meter I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some bullshit that calculates it, giving you heart rate and stuff like that. One that actually uses strain gauges and measures the force that either you're putting through the pedal in this case, or the force through the hub. And what this does is, the beauty of this product as well is, you take your pedal off, it attaches to the crank, and you stick your pedal on, and so it sits between the crank and the pedal, which means you can just take it off and put it on another bike as easy as you like. You cannot do that with any other power meter. So this seems a really, really clever product. It's a product that I'm pretty enthusiastic about, enthusiastic enough that within a couple of hours of looking at it and reading a little bit about it, I thought, yeah, I think that's worth a bit of a dabble on that. Obviously it's an IndieGoGo thing, so there's always the chance that it could all fall through. But if you look at the team, if you listen to the guy, I'll play his video at the end of this, they seem pretty genuine. He seems pretty switched on. I'm sure, I feel sure within myself they'll deliver a product. I'm not sure whether they'll quite make the time scale they say. If you're interested, the IndieGoGo scheme runs for about another 10 days. Once those 10 days are up, obviously you'll have to wait to get it at the $400 price rather than this sort of third off kind of price. So if you're interested, have a look. I'll leave you a link. Now, what it said, once I'd signed up, right, once I'd nailed my flag to the mast, made my contribution, it then said, oh, if you refer anybody else, you get a kickback, and just send them the link and they won't even know you've got a kickback. Bullshit, and I hate that kind of bullshit, right? If you click the link that I'm leaving you, I will get a kickback. It will give me a little bit off what I would have been paying for it. If you object to that, just click the link, and when you get the address at the top of the page, if you then take the end bit off the address and click it again, then it'll make sure that I don't get a kickback. To be quite honest, the thing that I'm most interested in is just to tell people about it. If I get a few kickbacks, all the better. But it's a fucking hell, a power meter for 170 quid for about $270. That's fucking good enough value anyway. Anyway, I'll leave you with their video. Have a look. If you're interested, click the link. And that will probably be the last time you hear me talking about cycling for a great deal of time. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.
If you're a cyclist, one thing's for sure, you'll want to measure your performance. You're probably already measuring your speed, your cadence, and your heart rate. But the one critical measurement you could be missing is power. Why measure power? Well, quite simply, you're more likely to achieve your goals with a power meter than any other tool. Until now, a power meter was a very expensive proposition, but with limits, we've created a unique, affordable power meter that is truly interchangeable, the simplest ever to install, and the easiest to use. With limits, you can power your performance smart. Hi, I'm Gordon, one of the creators of Limits. The idea for Limits came about last year when I took up the challenge to cycle the cols of the Tour de France. One of my coach's first recommendations was actually to purchase a power meter. But unfortunately, this was well outside my budget, as the power meter was almost the same cost as the bike I had just purchased. This got me to thinking, as a product designer and creator, why were these things so expensive? And why were they designed such that you had to replace existing components on your bike? So after many weeks of research and hours of endless discussions and many visits to the spokes racing team, the concept of Limits was born. A simple, affordable, truly interchangeable power meter that sits neatly between the pedal and the crank arm. You simply remove the pedal, fit your limits, refit the pedal, then pair your limit up with any Bluetooth or Ant Plus compatible headsets and train. It really is that simple. The Limits power meter measures both power and cadence, providing you, the cyclist, with the ultimate tool to go faster on a bike.
I'm Jane Barr. I've been to the Commonwealth Games, represented Scotland in the road race in 2010. I'm the current Scottish road race champion.
Hi, I'm Fraser Martin. I cycle for Spokes Racing Team. It's a Scottish development team.
I find the power meter is really important for me. It gives me the figures, the data that I need to tailor my training towards racing. I find it a lot better than heart rate, because heart rate is an effect of what you're doing. Heart rate can also be affected if you're tired, if you're ill, whereas power is a number and you can't get away from it. There's nothing that can affect it, it's just yourself.
For me, power meters are a really priceless training tool. It tells you a lot more, it's more consistent than heart rate and by training by feel. So it really lets you know what you're doing and if you're doing it right.
Power meter can be used for either professional cyclists, amateur cyclists. It gives you a great boost of morale. You're able to see where you're at, you're able to compare your rides, and it's just a great tool.
We know we've got a great product, but we need your help. So please take a moment to have a look at our perks. Whether you're new to cycling or a seasoned pro, the Limits power meter will make you a faster, smarter cyclist.